for the pursuing officers?
Very much so, because one of the things you take into account in any pursuit, no matter what the crime is the safety of the officers, the safety of the general public, and believe it or not, the actual safety of the suspects.
We don't know how many suspects are in that vehicle. We know at least two. There could be more. He dropped off somebody earlier on in this pursuit. So now we're watching him just drive in the HOV lanes. And hard to tell how fast he's going, but he was slowing down for a bit. Looks like he's, oh, well, there he is, about 56 miles per hour. So.
Yeah, still in the 50s, but he's basically moving kind of with the flow of traffic. He'd been hitting the triple digits at various times. When you have different agencies involved in a pursuit as it passes through these various jurisdictions, you've got the CHP in this case as the lead agency. He's on the freeway and has been for quite some time now. But when at various points there were different sheriff's departments and police departments, and they may have different tactics and different policies in place about how to deal with a pursuit suspect. Some agencies use the pit maneuver. Some agencies don't. Some agencies actually will ram a vehicle. We've seen that. Other agencies don't. Do they coordinate in terms of what they're going to try to do at the end, or does each agency, whoever happens to be in the lead, just do whatever he or she is trained or employed to do within their agency?
Yeah, what they have is they have a thing called POST, Peace Officer Standard and Training, which is mandated by the state of California. Every peace officer in the state goes through basically the same training. There are some variations on the felony traffic stop. Some agencies will call the suspect back.
Sorry, real quick. I hate to interrupt.
Oh, yeah.
Real quickly.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
He's heading on the 91, and he's going eastbound on the 91. This may be a bad move. Looks like traffic is pretty backed up. This is in Orange County, Old Town Placentia, and getting onto the 91 eastbound in that kind of tan SUV that we are still following here, but not doing the triple-digit speeds. All right, but again, now he's heading to the east on the 91 freeway, kind of heading back in the direction from whence this all began. Now, continue with your thought, if you would.
Oh, sorry, Mark. Yeah, so they all have the standardized training for pursuits, mandated pursuit training. They have to give certain indicators to the watch commander. But the variation will occur on the felony stop when it's finally done as how they get the suspect out and how they control him or her.
Okay. Now he's going through the HOV lane. Now he's trying to do some of those more tricky maneuvers.
Now he's back to that.
Now he's back to doing some of the more tricky stuff that he had been doing before and then kind of stopped doing. He's doing kind of what we sort of anticipated and what you talked about. When he starts things get a little dicey, makes it trickier for those pursuing officers. Now he's on the 91 at Kramer Glassell. Looks like he's not getting off the freeway. He did kind of a head fake, it looked like, where he was going to try to head to the off-ramp and now doesn't. That sort of stuff doesn't really fool the pursuing officers, does it, when somebody kind of acts like they're heading on an off-ramp and then doesn't, correct?
No, not really. I mean, it's a tactic that these suspects think is going to work, but it's not, because when you have a pursuit, you cannot outrun the radio. CHP, the local agency, they have enough units there. The other thing, too, if it gets so dangerous, they will cancel the pursuit and go into a tracking or surveillance mode for the safety of everyone involved.
So they did make that decision based on how erratically he's driving and the safety of people on the road?
Yes, ma'am, and it looks like he apparently doesn't have his lights on either, so he's definitely trying to avoid the police.
He's back to his...
Now he's heading back in the opposite direction of traffic. This looks like an on-ramp that he's on.
Yeah, going the wrong way on the
Go ahead, Chris.
on-ramp.
And so no lights.
This is the transition at Glassell Street. So he's going the wrong way on the on-ramp. They're going to follow him. Actually, I believe they're following him in this direction. But now he's getting off here, and again encountering oncoming traffic. Now making a right, so he can correct that, go the right way. Now he's making a northbound turn.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, no, he's going now back over the freeway. So, it was earlier that he got off of the 57 and made that eastbound turn onto the 91. If he would have made a westbound turn onto the 91, there was much less traffic. But here's a passenger jumping out the passenger seat, and that passenger now looks like she's hurt. That passenger is now, as a female passenger, laying down in the middle of the roadway as the pursuit continues. She took a hard hit to the head with that door. She tried to jump jump out of a moving vehicle, and now she is lying still. He's slowing down dramatically down to 20 miles per hour, and things have really been ramped up here. We've heard that he was talking about letting that passenger out in communication with CHP, who's been talking to him on the phone. Now, this is, again, an armed and dangerous suspect wanted for assault with a deadly weapon. They zeroed in on him apparently in Moreno Valley. This is an outstanding warrant. They got a tip that he was in the area. They managed to track him down, and that's when the pursuit began in Moreno Valley. Unclear which agency he committed that assault with a deadly weapon, but it was an officer. It was assault with a deadly weapon on an officer, and there were several passengers inside this SUV. Earlier in the hour, we saw him drop somebody off in Chino, and now you saw a passenger from the front right seat, both female passengers, as he's now making a U-turn. Both female passengers are now out of the vehicle, and we have at least one driver inside this vehicle who is driving much more erratically, and we can only wonder what the condition of that passenger is now. She basically jumped out of a moving vehicle, took a hard hit with that door as he almost dragged her, and she fell immediately to the ground. So police officers back there, that CHP with her, and we'll get her condition presumably here before not too long, but he's now coming up on Kramer Boulevard once again as he continues eastbound on La Palma Avenue here in Orange County. We are in Anaheim, and I have a feeling he jumped off of the freeway because traffic was just getting too slow. You saw when he started hitting all those brake lights, he started doing some more weaving, some more erratic driving, and finally said, you know what, I'm done with this. Let's get off the freeway. And now he's back on surface streets. We're on surface streets here in Anaheim, passing Armando Street. CHP still the primary agency here, and you can see they have their night sun up above. So this is getting ever more interesting. At the very least, we have one less passenger now inside that vehicle. So we have at least a driver. Unclear if there's anybody else, but at least two passengers who have now exited the vehicle. One of them possibly injured.
Well, she was very lucky that those officers were right behind and going slowly, because they were able to stop and block perhaps other cars from just running her over, because she was just there in the middle of the street.
And then when you look at this now, he made that bizarre maneuver going down the on-ramp against traffic, and then's going 20-something miles an hour. So as far as him trying to evade or escape, he's not. It doesn't seem like that's happening now. It seems like he's just driving around at this point. And here's the video we have that I'm talking about when he went up the on-ramp there off the 91
with his lights off
towards Kramer Glassell, I believe it was. And you know, with his lights off, this is a very dangerous maneuver. This is something you're doing when you're trying to escape. Exactly. But then he gets off the freeway and takes that right, and he's going 20-something miles an hour. So that was when he dropped off his passenger, who then was apparently injured by the door. Let's watch that video here. That's on. We don't have it yet, but we'll get to it in a second or two. On the left is the live picture of the suspect going now on East La Palma Avenue, going at about 35 miles an hour.
Right. We're north of the freeway
pursuit. North of the freeway, you see the night sun illuminating his position and path. Various marked units that are in the area. He's going through a red light right now.
And nothing really stopping him from going faster. So that I think you're right about that, Mark. He's not really trying to evade right now. He's just driving. Yeah. And all he did at this point was put a lot of people in danger, including his passenger, who jumped out of the car and got hit by the door, apparently, and nearly got run over and dragged. And here it is. Here it is on the right-hand side.
I think they're going to try a pit. They may try a pit here.
Okay. So
they may try a pit here. Anaheim PD has taken over the pursuit, guys. Anaheim, well, at least they're involved. I can tell you that CHP is still involved as well, but Anaheim has now entered the theater, and they are contemplating a possible pit maneuver. Certainly, he's going, maybe not quite slow enough. They like to see him slow down to about 35 miles per hour, ideally for that pit maneuver, but if there's nobody else in danger, they may take it a little bit quicker if the supervisor gives the go-ahead. Now going through a green light. He's got the green light, making a right turn now. So he's making a right turn on I believe that's going to be Lincoln Avenue.
Right.
And he's going to have some roadway to himself here. But Anaheim PD, now the agency behind him with their helicopter overhead as well. We are in the heart of Orange County here as we make our way now north. Or, excuse me, I think south. We're going south on on Lincoln.
Okay, and if you're in this area, it looks like a mixed area of both residential and business. If you live in this area, if you happen to be in this area, stay in your home. We've seen this guy doing some erratic things. There have been 2 people that have been dropped off in the vehicle. We don't know if he's going to try to foot bail at some point, but stay in your home, lock your windows, don't come outside and take a look at this, because this could be a dangerous thing. He is now on Lincoln, passing State College Boulevard. This is in Anaheim, now going 30 miles an hour, between 30 and 35 miles an hour on this surface street, which is the speed limit, perhaps even below the speed limit in this area. And it's been at varying times fairly slow in the last half an hour or so, Ellen, in which I'm trying to figure out why, and the only thing I can think of is either there's something mechanically wrong with the vehicle, or he's sort of giving up and deciding not to put anybody else in danger.
Right, maybe he's arguing with people in the car. We don't know if there are other people in the car. He's already dropped off 2 people, but the officer's right behind him, and he's going slowly.